Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Eileen, and for those of you who are joining me on YouTube, this is our medicine walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. At some point, I'm probably going to try to intertwine those, but we'll have to see. Anyway, hi. It has been an interesting week. It's been really a very active week for me. I hope it's been a good week for you. Just always something going on. Some really cool stuff. I was involved in, I mentioned it last week, there's something called the Light of Lights. And, here in the Bay Area, it is hosted by the Center for Living with Dying. And it's this big, beautiful ceremony where people light candles in memory of those who passed. And it's designed to help people deal with grief, and by having like a big community sort of experience. And I was one of the singers. And I've been a keynote speaker for them before, but it's always fun to be able to sing with them. And there's a small group and we sing every year. So that was exciting, but a lot of preparation, a lot of rehearsals. And it is just kind of, it's a little bit crazy making sometimes when your schedule gets so built up, which is why normally I would be on at 2 o'clock, and 2 o'clock Thursday has been like the mainstay for me. And so today we had to start at 2:30 because I was in a meeting. And so I was involved with stuff with that. And it went a little longer than I thought it would. So I ended up, rushing over here to the office so that I could be able to be here with you. So anyway, today we're talking about just relax and play nice. And one of the things about interacting with people, our fellow human beings, is that, if we're not relaxed, things can go into a very weird place. And at a point in history where there's a lot of really strong energy, a lot of very strong opinions, a lot of very powerful emotions are going on right now. And it's very easy to get caught up in that because, well, we kind of bounce off each other. We're communal creatures. And the fact that it's important for us to connect, and at the same time, sometimes there's a little too much connecting. So today, this walk is going to be about relaxing and, really kind of taking a step back. Because when there's conflict, it necessitates that two people be involved, to a great degree. I mean, you can have like a conflict with yourself. Generally, it's like, oh, okay, you're talking to yourself, and if you are, good luck with that. I occasionally do it myself, but I live alone on a mountain. But we're talking about the conflicts with other people. How easy it is to fall into tension when things start to escalate. And it could be a minor disagreement over who makes the best cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving, or it could be something major, major relationship issue, major work issue, major political issue. And when you dig your heels in, that can be where it kind of gets stuck. And it's also really hard when you're in a conflict to be able to step back and say, okay, how much of this belongs to me? And like I said, this discussion can go on with yourself, but that's sort of a different thing. Bear with me. First, we'll just start off talking about others. And like I said, it could be over something small, and maybe an offhanded comment that kind of rubs somebody the wrong way. And it sort of escalates from there. And the next thing you know, folks are getting mad, folks are getting angry. So at what point can we still say, all right, this is sort of, this discussion is escalating. Stop for a minute and figure out how much of this belongs to me. How much of this is me getting stuck? How much of this is my issue as opposed to what that person is saying to me, as opposed to what is going on with them? You know, and they'll have their stuff too. They've got their stuff too that's going on. So when you look at where you're at, you know, and we can all tell when when tensions are getting a little bit more, maybe the person leans in a little bit more, or, you know, their vocal quality changes, or yours does, you know, you start feeling that sort of, you know, adrenaline kind of kick up in you. It's like, you know, okay, you know, fight or flight, and there we go, you know, oh, gonna be a fight. And if we can take a point and go, you know what, I need to go to the bathroom, or, you know, hold on, I have to check my phone for messages, whatever it is you need to say, step out of the situation, maybe go outside and take a couple of breaths. It's like, okay, first off, do I really feel like having a fight with this person? Second, how much of this is based on me and how much is based on another person? And when we can take an honest look at ourselves over that and be able to say, okay, I'm in a really bad mood today, and traffic was horrible, and I didn't get the stuff done I wanted to, and somebody cut me off on the freeway. So yeah, you kind of come in armed for bear, you know, and then maybe you're even looking a little bit for a fight. So when you consider all those things, when you take a moment, now it doesn't matter if the other person, you know, I mean, they may have had a really bad day. They may be kind of spoiling for a fight. You know, if it's a situation like at work, and, you know, it's one of those things where you're in the meeting, and you know, things start, it's like, well, they were supposed to do this and they were supposed to do that. And, you know, when people are very defensive and they want to not fault, or maybe it's just like an honest miscommunication, as far as, you know, one person is talking about one thing and they think the other person understands, but they really don't. So the idea of taking that step back, taking a breath, and going, okay, you know, what is it that this is going to serve me? First off, am I going to change their mind about something? If you're getting ready to get into an argument over something, over a topic, or a subject matter, more than likely you're not going to change anybody else's mind. You know, minds do not get changed during arguments. And when things get heated, people dig in, and even if it's the most sensible argument in the world, it's not going to go over well, and that person is going to resist, just because, you know, there is that challenge, and there is that kind of, you know, locking horns and bumping heads over it. So by being able to find that quiet place within yourself to bring in choice, what do you choose? And it may be that once you think about it, it's like, you know what, I really don't care what this person feels about this particular subject. It really doesn't matter to me. They can believe what they want. If it's a situation where maybe it's a lack of understanding, it's like, you know what, maybe today's not the day for us to try to find common ground. Maybe we need to step back. Maybe we need to look at it from a different point of view and really think about what it is that they, you know, what is being presented. Talk to somebody else about it. You know, maybe there's something legit in it. So the idea of communicating with someone, as opposed to directing energy or just throwing words at someone. You know, you should consider your words very, very valuable. They're going someplace where they really aren't going to be appreciated, then reconsider whether or not you want to put the energy into that. And, you know, and if you're dealing with somebody who's just spoiling for a fight, who, you know, for a fact, they're not going to change their mind, they're not going to change their viewpoint, you know, I mean, and again, you saying that you know that for a fact, that's your story. And if it's somebody that you've known for a while and you kind of have a feeling it's like, yeah, I know how they feel on this, and they have never once seen another viewpoint on it. It's like, you know what? Then just let it go. Because by allowing yourself to relax into it, by allowing yourself to take a breath and go, okay, in the big scheme of things, how much does this really matter to me? Is it that important in this moment that I be right? Not only that I be right, but that they agree that I'm right. It may not be that important when you really think about it. You know, you could be off doing something fun. Now, if it's a work situation where you need to be able to get along, you need to reach some sort of solution to get something done or whatever, then like, okay, what can we do? You know, what are the common grounds we have? What are the things we have in common? What are the things we can agree that we agree on? And kind of reverse engineer it from there. Figure out what you already agree on and then work back. And this can actually help in a lot of cases. It's something that kind of switches gears. It takes both of you out of that space of disagreement, and it will automatically start going, okay, what do we agree on? Well, we agree on this, this, and this. Okay, so that brings the antagonism, that brings the conflict level down, because you've already brought into the conversation what you agree on. And just that little bit of gentling can be really good at being able to help you refocus the conversation if it's something that you need to do. So what if the person you need to relax and play nice with is yourself? And that usually happens when it has been a bad day and maybe things have not gone right. And, you know, you may have gotten fussed at by somebody. And so you start playing that tape in your head about how it's like, man, you know, this always happens, or I always mess up, or, you know, all those little things that kind of take away from your sense of yourself. Same thing, relax and play nice. And, you know, when we say play nice, when we were kids, it was like, okay, what did it mean to play nice? Well, playing nice meant nobody was hitting, you know, at anybody. Nobody was antagonizing anybody. You shared fun. And, you know, if there was a problem, you just walk away and, you know, you picked up your marbles and you went to another part of the playground and played. But the idea that we don't have to be able to, you know, we don't have to stay in that place of conflict if we don't choose to. So the idea that you can have that conversation with yourself, you can ask yourself, it's like, you know what, I'm stewing over this thing. Is it really going to make a difference? What is serving me by stewing over this? What do I want to get out of stewing over this? And sometimes, in all honesty, if it's just, you know what, I need to just vent inside my own head, or I just need to walk around and vent for a few minutes or stew on something. Okay, if you really feel like you need to stew on something for a little bit, all right, go ahead, stew, I'll let you. And it's important to, you know, to acknowledge that that's where you're at. Sorry, I'm like really, really thirsty. So it's important to be able to recognize where you're at, whether you're with somebody else or whether you're by yourself, and to be able to say, you know what, I'm not feeling good about the space I'm in. Because, you know, if you're in an aggravated state, with the exception of those times when you are spoiling for a fight, it doesn't feel good to be aggravated. It doesn't feel good to be in conflict with another person. And especially if you know there's no winners in that. You know, if the conflict just escalates and then, you know, somebody storms off and then you know you're going to have to deal with them later, but, you know, you're just grumbling and, you know, maybe talking to a friend about how unreasonable everybody else is. But yeah, you know, it's not going to improve your quality of life. It's not going to make you a more relaxed and gentle person. It's not going to allow you to enjoy what's around you. And if it is that inner argument that you're having with yourself, and maybe you're coming in from a place of judgment, or maybe it's just, no, it's everybody else's fault, but it's still not making you happy. Even if you're sitting there thinking, well, I know I'm right and they're all wrong, that's not going to make you happy. It's not going to make your life easier. What makes life easier is when we have fewer attachments to things. And reducing an attachment to being right is a very good thing. If we can take a step back and go, you know what? If I know for a fact that other person is wrong, is it really worth my time and effort to go and fight them on it? To demand not only that, I be acknowledged as right, but that they acknowledge me as right. And it's wasted energy. If someone's not going to acknowledge it, don't try to make them. Just go, you know what, whatever, walk away, do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself, to get yourself less stressed. Take some breaths, laugh about, how ridiculous an argument can be. And even if you think that they're totally wrong, it's like, you know what, they'll figure it out. But getting locked in to the confrontation, all that does is trap you in that space of agitated energy, and your stomach gets all knotted up, and then, then all the other stuff starts coming up. Then it's like, well, you start thinking of all the other times that person upset you. And then you start thinking of all the other people that have upset you. And it just sort of builds this kind of negative space over and over and over again, to where the point is that you're caught right in the middle of it. And it's really tough to find a way out, because then you've just decided that you're mad at everybody. And sometimes you can get stuck just being mad at yourself, judging yourself. That's when you consider all the things that you made mistakes on, and you just go and start reliving it. You can't do that. It's going to make you crazy. It's going to put you in a space you don't want to be, where you can't enjoy the basic things of life if you're dwelling on either somebody else's mistakes or your own. So relax. Is it really worth it? Is there really something you have to gain that is that important that you want to, just invest emotionally in such a heavy energy and a heavy feeling? Sometimes people just do stuff. They've got a reason for it. And if their reason works for them, okay, cool. Your reason works for you. Doesn't have to work for, anybody else. So ease up. Ease up on other people. Ease up on yourself. You never know who has just had a really, really bad day. And it may be that later on, if, you talk, it's like, yeah, I was kind of upset that day anyway. Give people the benefit of the doubt that maybe they're just not in their best space in that moment. And if you can, and especially if you can do it with yourself, well, then we can all just relax and play nice. So thank you for joining me. And you may notice that this episode is like 20 minutes. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to see if a half an hour is too long or what. So if you like a half an hour, then please comment and let me know. It's like, no, we like the full half an hour. If you think it's like, you know what, 20 minutes is good. We like 20 minutes. So let me know. And you can like this video if you find value in it. You can subscribe to the community. And if you do, make sure you click the bell so you get the notifications. You can also comment. I do read the comments and I answer them. And you can also share the video if you think that it has value. Also, for anybody who noticed that I didn't tweet this morning, my meeting I had to leave for early, so I wasn't able to do it this morning, so I'll do it later on this afternoon. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I will be back next week, and until then, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you. Bye-bye.